Welcome to Brick Wars Show. I'm Brian. I'm your host. This is my co-pilot.
I'm Kitt.
And we are going to talk about free comic book day. That's right. Got the Marvel shirt on. It's got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There you go. We're going to talk about free comic book day. Kit's going to give us all the ins and outs that we're going to need to know to make sure comic book day for 2023 is successful. Hey guys, welcome to the Brick Wars Show. My name is Brian. I'm your host. This is Kitt. And we are going to talk about Free Comic Book Day. That's right. This Saturday, May the 6th, Free Comic Book Day. And to be honest with you, she's the expert at the comic books over here. So I'm going to kind of talk to you about this. Let you tell us about Free Comic Book Day and what it is and what it means to you. And this will be my first Free Comic Book Day. So,
are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I thought you'd been to more.
No, this is my first one. So you tell me all about it. How did it start?
It started as a way for comic book shops to get more people into the comic book, into their stores, basically.
Like regular people that don't always go there.
Yeah, like you don't
like
go
me.
To,
yeah, I don't.
You don't go to comic book stores,
right?
You mean I was going to comic book stores. We were going at least twice a week before. We would go on the Wednesday or that Friday right after they released, and then we would probably it was probably the Wednesday and on one day on the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. So what kind of? I mean, do all the big boys show up to the? I don't know. Does Marvel show up? Does DC show up? Does Dark Horse show up? I mean, those are the big boys on the block, aren't they? I mean, don't they?
So they do it more by publishing company. So it started off with 4 publishing companies, and now you get a lot more. So you'll see a few Marvel. You'll see some Spider-Man. Spider-Man is usually a big one. It was a big one last year because that was coming out. All the kids love it. It's something that the parents and the kids can bond with. You'll see Marvel. You'll see DC. You'll see.
I heard there's like a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 prequel comic that they're giving away. Have you heard about that one?
I don't know. It wasn't. It might have been on my list.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Guardians comes out on the 5th, and supposedly that there's supposed to be a tie-in book that they're giving away on Free Comic Book Day. So, I don't know. I just heard about it today. I thought of you.
Interesting. I haven't heard that quite yet. But there's some Star Wars ones and all that.
So, how did all of this start? I mean, it kind of sounds like it's a May the 4th situation to me, from what I understand about it. Because, May the 4th was completely made up by fans. I mean, that's where May the 4th, Revenge of the Sith, or 6th, or whatever it is. Revenge of the 5th. I thought it was the 6th. Revenge of the Sith.
It's usually the 4th and the 5th.
Anyways, whatever.
But it works out really well.
I know all that was all fan-made and all that. This doesn't seem... It kind of has that smell and that vibe, but it kind of seems like it was created differently. I don't know.
So it was created a little bit different because it was created to get the non-comic book goers going into comic books into comic book stores to get them to read. They kind of took inspiration from Baskin Robbins when they first in 2001 when Baskin Robbins started doing their free scoop nights. And so that got people in trying different flavors and stuff like that. So the following year, they started doing the free comic book day. And it gave over 2 million comic books from 4 publishers.
It doesn't seem like a lot, though, if you think about it. Out of all the comic book shops in all of the United States, there's only 2 million of them that were going out. That's only 500,000 issues of publishing.
I don't think comic books were as big a thing as they are now, or as they were years ago. I think there was a lull, and so I think 2001 kind of had that lull. You know what I mean? But to start out with 4 four
For
for
production. I mean,
four
publishers.
publishers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of the 4 publishers, 20 million copies were sold, or not sold, but were given away. And so that's giving publicity to the publishing companies. It's giving publicity to all the new comics and stuff. Because if you think of it too, I don't think Iron Man came out until later.
What do you mean?
I don't. Iron Man. I think when Iron Man came out, we got a resurgence of people buying comic books and reading the comic books.
Oh, you're talking about when the Marvel MCU.
So I'm talking about Marvel because that came out. I don't know. I graduated high school in 2003.
Well, what movie? What are you talking?
Iron Man, the first Iron Man. I was saying, I think around that time is when we had a resurgence of people going and buying the comic books and wanting to find out history of their favorite characters.
Right. No,
so
I get it.
This was part of this was to get that resurgence going again.
Yeah, I get it. Let's see. I know our local comic book shop.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of been kind of cagey and not posting exactly what they're doing. I know you.
So our comic book shop, it's weird because I've gone to these things before and waited in line because the first 50 people are gonna get a special something, whether it would be a special bag or a special offer or a special. I don't even know what to say.
Right, we get you.
5 years ago, I stood in line. I was first. I was very proud to say I was first in line, and I got.
What time did you have to get in there though?
They opened at 10, so we were there by 7:30.
Yeah, it was like me lining up for Lego.
Or lining up for something Star Wars.
No, I know. Hey, I've always stated that what? If there's one good thing that Star Wars fans are good at, standing in line.
And so while we're waiting, because we're first and second, we got a huge Hulk bus. We got a statue of Rocket. We got some Funko Pops. We got free T-shirts. This particular comic book shop put it out there saying, "Hey, for the first 5 people in line, these are the big ticket items. Everyone else is going to get XYZ." The one here in town, the big one that we're going to go to, isn't saying anything. It's just saying, "Hey, this vendor are going to be there. Come check us out." Mm. And I even messaged them on Facebook, through Facebook Messenger, asking, "Hey, what are you doing for?" And they said, "Hey, check the website."
Of course they are.
So you have to make sure that you're double checking with your comic book shop. The one I liked in New Hampshire, they would give something out to the first 50 people in line. They were doing costume contests. They were doing local artists there too.
So basically, check with your local comic book shops. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. I mean, they're all going to get only X amount of whatever free comic books they are. They're not going to be an endless supply for everybody to go get all day long.
They're not going to run it. Most comic book shops still have.
Oh, really? Well, why are we rushing to get in line? Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Just like Star Wars. You get to meet friends of people in line.
I know. It's just a joke. All right. What else can you tell me about free comic books?
It's always the first weekend in May.
Right. I did know that.
I don't know. What else?
Hey, you're the expert here. I'm just along for the ride.
The popverse.com, they have
that was Popverse, Popverse. I'll put a link to it down below.
They have a link. They have in their article, they tell you some of the titles that are coming. I mean, they have Dawn of the DC Night Terrors free comic book day edition. The one I'm excited about, it says Girls Taking Over, a Lois Lane story. I have the
boy.
I have the
That's what I want to. Wait a minute. Out of all of the comic books that I can read, hold on. We're going to put all of them down here. The one I'm going to pick is about a reporter. and she's with the Daily Planet, and she always just gets into trouble and has to be saved by a man. That's all she ever does in Superman.
The miniseries that they came out with?
Do I look like a man?
Do I need to go get them? They're upstairs.
No, it's okay. Once again, I have better things to boot than to follow Lois Lane.
I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did. Did she cover a car wreck? Did Perry put her on the latest car wreck? Maybe the traffic report. Did a lion get loose from the zoo and she had to go track down who the lion tamer was?
No, because she got some bigger
fish to fry.
Bigger fish to fry.
What, did Joker show up?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Of course, Joker didn't show up. It's Superman.
There's Clark and Lex. If you're a Batman fan, sorry. If you're a Batman,
you gotta get those. They're Batman and Superman. Once again, Joker, Lois Lane. I thought we just covered that.
Yeah. Archie, the Archie comics, because
once again, another set of comics that my generation didn't give a crap about. It skipped my generation. You had my parents loved Archie. No. Hold on. Parents loved Archie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then people that are in their late teens, early 20s now liked Archie, not only for the CW series, but for the comics as well. And so you had another group. But this middle section here, between my parents and then my kids, which would be my generation, we missed out on the Archie thing. That Archie craze didn't hit us.
Archie isn't the same. The kids that are reading the Archie comics now, it's more. It's gonna sound really bad. It's more dark. It's more CW Riverdale.
No, it's more tween angst.
Probably, I suppose, if you want to look at it that way.
It's more Twilight.
It's more Twilight. You're not gonna get the same
teen angst. That's what I go to the movies for.
The same silly drawing. It's more.
There wasn't a lot of silly in Twilight. It was just stupid.
No, I'm talking about original Archie. Original Archie, you get.
Archie was supposed to be funny. Yeah.
The new Archie isn't those same bright colors.
Right. Instead of all happy Archie, you get all teen angst and horrible life sucks Archie. That's where I want to spend my time. This is why I don't go to movies that make me cry. Because if I want to cry, I can do that in my own bedroom. Right. And I don't have to pay $30 to do that. Now, make me laugh, because I can't just make myself laugh. But if you can make me laugh, I'm all for it. Okay. What other titles we got?
We have Ranger Academy.
I see an Avengers X-Men. Is that a crossover they're doing?
Which one?
Avengers and X-Men?
I think so. Because they're probably trying to figure out how do we bring the two together before we start movies.
That's another debate. I got a theory.
Podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
We have Star Trek. There's Amazing Spider-Man and Venom. X-Men and Avengers.
Star Wars Avatar crossover.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. The Last Airbender.
That's really going to be a crossover. I think that means Star Wars getting a comic and Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they're both coming from the same publisher.
Which could have happened because they've done that before. They've done it where they'll have one on the front, and you basically kind of have to flip it over, and you got a second one on the back.
So we're going to cheap out. We're going to print two comics only on one set of paper. Not really. You don't really get a full comic. You get half of a comic because the other half of the comic is another comic.
It's a full story in shorter.
Little story.
It's a little story.
It's a little story.
And that's the part too. Is these are going to be intros to. Oh, I might actually want to finish reading that, and then you buy that one, and then you realize that this character.
Yeah, but wouldn't it make more? Wouldn't it make more sense if I'm a publisher to give out a full comic? Might cost me a little more, but follow me here. Give out a full comic that has an entire beginning, middle, and end of a story. That's a complete story, yet sets up a bigger story that you can continue to read on if you enjoyed this story. So you get a flavor of what the series that you're going to be reading is really going to be about, because you got a beginning, a middle, and an end, but you also have this tease to this much larger universe that you can continue on to and read if you want.
But you do have a beginning, middle, and end, even though it's shorter pages. I know you can say whatever.
You're right. I can say the horse got a saddle. The horse got a human. The horse went and rode. The horse got tired, and the horse went to sleep. Okay, so now we have a beginning, a middle, and an end. That story, and that is a short story.
I understand what you're saying.
I can write as short stories as you want. Where's Chat GPT when you need it? Anyway, so any other?
There's a few. There's a whole list of them on there. I can't sound silly. The Babysitters Club. Those books have a comic out now.
I now know why I've never gone to Free Comic Book Day.
Why?
Because of all the teen angst.
Oh, well.
Look at this. I just saw this one here.
Which one?
There's a 65th anniversary special edition of the Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
The Smurfs.
There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one.
Now that one's cool. I'm not going to knock Ninja Turtles.
I don't know. I think
A Nightmare Before Christmas one. I saw that on
Marvel's Voice #1. Maybe that could be the one you were talking about. I don't know. I don't think it would. Spidey and His Amazing Friends. Smurfs.
They need to do a Spider into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Sweet Valley High twins.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is exactly...
It's a throwback to my childhood.
That's exactly why.
With the Sweet Valley High and the Babysitter Club.
This sounds like a Kathleen Kennedy got in there and messed with Free Comic Book Day. All right, guys.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Street Fighter.
Once again, don't care. Street Fighter was a video game, not a comic book. What are you going to do? Punch the screen? Wah, pow.
Animal Crossing / Kirby manga. I don't know how I feel about Kirby and being a manga.
All right. I think that's going to wrap us up here for Free Comic Book Day and Talk.
So it's on the 6th. Check out your local comic book shop.
We'll be in line.
See what they're doing. Go be in line. Be with other people who enjoy reading comics.
Who have teen angst. That's going to be my luck. Is we're going to get the person in front of us is going to be a 14-year-old with tons of pimples and not knowing what's going on, trying to get their hands on an Archie comic. And behind me, I'm going to have a 16-year-old guy that doesn't know which end is up, and he's fat, and he just doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just looking for the Sweet Valley High comic. I know that's what I'm going to get sandwiched in, because they won't be like two really cool Star Wars fans or a Star Wars and a Marvel fan. It'll be Sweet Valley High and Twilight over here.
I'm thinking about wearing my Wonder Woman dress to it, so we might get.
I'm thinking about wearing a T-shirt and shorts
because I didn't have time to make a costume. But I've done Jessie from Toy Story. I did
for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Go for Free Toy Story Day, maybe.
I also did Mary Poppins one year for
Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book
Were they giving out free Mary Poppins comics?
The issue too is that one of the artists I knew there, she just released her art. Her art and my costumes kind of coincided with each other, so there was other reasons why I was doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. All right.
She did Belle that year, and I did Belle for Comic Con, not a.
Okay. Cool.
Go support your local artists.
Go support your local comic book store. Most definitely. That's important. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us here at the Brick Wars Show. Once again, I'm Brian.
I'm Kitt. If you have specific titles that y'all like that I might enjoy, please add it to the comments.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for new comic books.
Yeah, definitely. If shoot it over to Kitt at brickwarshow.com, and she will pick that up and probably respond to you. I don't know. I respond to my people, so I'm sure you would respond
I would
to yours.
respond to mine too.
She just hasn't had any yet. You just have to be the first. Be the first. Be the first. Be sure to like us. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to ring that bell. Turn on those notifications. Help us grow here as a channel. We're trying to make something of this and have a fun channel and do some fun stuff and maybe give you just a little bit of different perspective on some stuff. So, without further ado, we will see you guys later, and thanks for watching.